No, it doesn't make sense that I thanked you for being polite to start with and then called religious people losers. I changed my mind. I lost my patience. And this is why. You don't want to accept facts that contradict your preconceived beliefs. It is like trying to break through a wall by talking to it. More force is required. I've decided not to mince my words anymore. Your religion is stupid. It makes me want to laugh at you. Ha 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 ha. But anyway, on to your next comment. No. You can't say that not believing in your God, which is what I assume you mean by Christ, is willful ignorance. This is because I have no evidence for the accuracy of your faith. However, there is lots of evidence for evolution. When was the last time your God spoke to you? Are your prayers always answered with a nice warm voice? No. Do all your prayers come true? No. Has every study ever undertaken shown that prayer has no effect in changing future events? Yes. It's an odd coincidence that we can't actually see, hear or feel this God, isn't it? Why? If it weren't for the Bible, or Quran or Torah or whatever, it would almost be like he didn't exist. Weird. So it's willful ignorance that I don't believe in something that I can't see, hear, smell, touch or taste, and that I have no evidence for, is it? That's odd. Now, to contrast my belief, which is less of a belief than an understanding of reality, with yours. I can see the evidence of evolution. And I'm not even about to use some old fossil to prove it either, though I could. Have you ever met a pit bull terrier? Through our selective breeding, we were able to turn a wolf into that over a period of time. By selectively choosing which genes were present in the gene pool, we could alter the creature enough to create a new species or breed. The only difference between this selection and nature selection, natural selection, is that in the wild, nature chooses the genes rather than us. This is done through random mutations leading to non-random results. A bee that extracts more pollen from a flower will be more successful than a similar bee that extracts less. The successful bee will thrive as it makes better use of the resources available to it. The less successful bee may not die out, but it will become less widespread than its fellow. A creature that is more resistant to colder climates will do better in a colder environment. That is why polar bears live where they do. For the time being, your president hasn't managed to melt the ice caps quite yet. But here's something I thought I'd throw into the mix. Do you think this creature was wiped out by the flood too? Seeing as it's a sea creature, that would be strange. The Bible doesn't really mention any other cataclysmic events that could have done it. Meteorites, etc. So on. But on to your next comment. You say that evolutionists are the same. If they get a date that doesn't coincide with what they thought, they throw it out. If something doesn't work with how old the Earth is, they change the date. Your statement that we ignore the date to keep the theory alive contradicts your statement that we ignore it. No, that's not the case. I don't know what evidence you're basing that on either. When radiocarbon dating came about in the 60s, we reevaluated thousands of dates. So we're the same now, are we? Firstly, you're admitting that you ignore facts. And we are not the same. In one of your earlier comments, you said that we keep changing how old the Earth is to fit the theory. Now you're saying that we don't change the age, we just ignore the evidence. So which is it? Furthermore, when we get a piece of evidence and we date it, it is impossible for us to contradict the age of the Earth. This is because we're right. No find has been dated as old as 4.4 billion years. If something isn't dated beyond 6,000 years, we don't say, oh well, that must be wrong because the Earth is so old. We just say, oh, this is 3,000 years old. That's good. So what can we learn from that? Something being young does not stop the Earth from being old, you nutter. Give me one example of evolutionists doing what you claim. What the is an evolutionist anyway? I'm an atheist. The theory of evolution is a type of biological science. People who believe in it are not evolutionists any more than you are a quantum theorist. I believe that Archimedes was correct with displacement theory. Does that make me a displacementist? You can't argue against some scientific theory like it's a religion just like your own. It's not a matter of faith. I don't have faith in evolution. I examine it and work out that it is probably true. You have a faith in God. Look up the word faith. Then look up the word science. Then compare the two. Then look at evolution and creationism. Go and watch some Fox News, you Republican creationist. I'm sure that Bill O'Reilly will be on giving his impartial opinion about what a negative thing atheism is for society. Your next point. The atheist blank sheet must have got dropped in the mud because God isn't. Would you care to finish that sentence? Atheism assumes nothing to be true, then goes from there. You assume a lot of stuff to be true, then ignore or try and discredit the things that go against you. I'm sure you'd say the same thing of Islam. The thing is, voted for Bush, you'd make a very good Muslim. Can you imagine a world without God? I can. This is what it looks like.